The way you made me feel 2020. Hello, everyone. My name is Benjamin Kepner of Global Social Media Marketing, and today we're going to be talking about how to use Google search ads to drive sales to your online store. With you, Google, 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 Google. In this case, we're going to be using one of our examples of our clients here at Global Social Media Marketing. One of our clients is in the travel industry. Our hearts go out to anyone in the travel industry right now during these times. A lot of the travel companies right now, there's prime opportunities for them, as well as many other businesses such as restaurants and retail, to utilize Google Ads to kind of pivot their business online. So today I'm going to do a walkthrough on how to set those up. And I've actually got an accompanying blog article for anyone. If you want to actually see all the steps that have been written out, I've got them all here listed. And I'm going to just kind of reference this. We'll link to the blog article in the video. But for now, let's go ahead and jump in. So the first thing that we want to do before we go and set up our campaigns is we want to make sure that everything is set up for our account. So just to do a quick breeze through of that, right, we want to make sure that we've got our accounts linked. So in the case of Booking MVP, right, we want to make sure that we have our Google Analytics account linked. We can see actually that is linked, right? So we've got that set up properly. We also want to make sure, right, outside of the linked accounts with our Google Analytics, is we want to make sure that we have our conversions set up. So if we go into our conversions, we want to make sure that we've got a conversion set up, right, for our reservations that are going to be made through the landing page that we're going to be driving people to. So the easiest way to do that is just to go to your Google Analytics and create goals. So if we hop into our Google Analytics account, the quickest way to do that real quickly is to go into the website, right, and then click on admin. And then we're going to want to go to goals. And then we're actually going to go create a new goal. And so for our case, right, we're going to be doing buy tickets or reservation, right? We can even do custom if we want to give an actual name. So we're just going to title this Laredo, Mexico thank you page. So we know that anyone that is completing that goal, right, they've gone through the processes and they're only hitting that if they actually have completed the reservation. And we're going to do destination, right? And then we're going to click continue. We're actually going to give it the landing page thank you confirmation page. So, right, so here is our thank you confirmation page. So we just want to go back and add our thank you confirmation page. We don't need to include the entire web page, right, as it says. Let's just include where the confirmation is. So /order received /thanks 5-star premium Laredo. And then from there, we can also add a value, right? So for example, for this vacation, I know that it's around $600 if somebody books that, right? And then we could also turn on the funnel here too, if we're trying to specify, for example, if they get to the landing page and then they go to check out in the cart and they're filling out their information, we can really track every point. But for now, we're just going to leave the value and the destination on. And then we would verify that goal, right, to see if anyone had actually made that conversion. Because this is a new landing page, we don't have any conversions for right now. We'll verify that later. So we'll click save, right? And so now we have that Google Analytics goal created to track our conversions properly. So now we can go back into our Google Ads and we can go to conversions and we can go import from Google Analytics, right? So we're going to click on Google Analytics and click continue. And there it is, right? Now it's populated. So we're going to make sure that all of our goals, if we've created multiple, have been imported. We've imported those goals. Great. So now our tracking is properly set up, right? So now going back, we can go into the campaign, right? If we've got everything set up from the linked accounts as well as our billing, right? That's another important thing, is that we want to make sure that we've got all of our billing settings set up, right, with our payments and our address and things like that. So those are kind of the basics that we want to make sure before we go into our campaigns. So let's say that we're going to go create a new campaign. So we're going to go in our Google Ads account and then click on the plus icon that says new campaign. We're going to go for sales, and then we're going to be running search ads. We're going to do website visits. Then we'll want to plug in the name of our website. So in our case, it's going to be for Booking MVP. So we'll go back to Google Ads. We'll add that. We'll click continue. Next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to give our campaign a name. So for us, we're going to be promoting a specific destination in Laredo, Mexico, and we're going to be doing search ads, and we're going to be doing sales, and this is going to be for 2020. All right, so give it some easy nomenclature. I've seen some people not include the display network, but we're going to include it just for massive reach there. Next thing we want to do is we want to do a start and an end date, right? And we want to do that mainly because we don't want Google to burn through all of our money. We actually want to hold them tight down to give us the biggest bang for our buck. So we'll just do from the 30th until April 30th. Campaign URL options and dynamic search ads. Those are some more advanced features we'll talk about in another video. But for now, we're just going to leave those. We're going to be targeting people that are looking to go to the beach. And we're also going to be targeting people that are based in the United States and Canada. So we're going to choose United States and Canada. We're also going to be targeting in those areas. We know that English and French are usually the most spoken there. We might even add Spanish, right? There's a lot of Spanish speaking people in the United States. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go down to audiences, right? And there's a lot of different targeting options that you can use for audiences. For us and for most businesses, if you're looking for people that are already further down in the buying cycle and ready to buy, it might be a really good idea to go after in market, right? They're actually in the market to go search for something, and they give you a bunch of different options. For us, we're going to do travel, right? And then there's actually like subcategories within that, right? If they're trying to do air travel, bus and rail, car rental, cruises, hotels and accommodation, and trips by destination, right? So we actually sell vacation packages at Booking MVP. So we're going to check all of these, make sure that those are done. We're also going to do observation. And the reason for that is we don't want to kind of target things too granularly. We actually want to, make sure that we're going to have enough reach. Then we're going to go down to budget. I always like to start the budget lower. So, take whatever your business budget is and kind of cut that in half per month, right? So if, for example, our client is saying that they want to do $200 a day, I might cut that in half and do something like $100 a day, just so that we can kind of have that learning phase, right? And we're not burning through a lot of money too quickly until we have the conversions figured out. Next thing I like to do for sales is you can start with conversions, but we're actually going to start with clicks instead. And then we're going to actually do a different bid strategy here. We're going to do manual CPC that is going to be checked with help increase conversions with enhanced CPC and optimize for conversions. This gives us a little bit more granularity, right? If we go in and we start doing for clicks, we might not be having as many people that are actually going to convert. And if we start with conversions, then we might struggle to get enough traffic and have higher cost per click because we're optimizing for conversion. So this is a really good approach to see. The next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to go down to show more settings and then go make sure that we've got our account level conversion settings, right? So we've got choose converting actions for this campaign that we're going to want to use, and we've already got our Google Analytics from earlier that we created, right, in goals. So we're going to choose Laredo, Mexico. Thank you, Paige. We could also adjust the ad schedule if we wanted to, because we're booking travel and people normally would be searching, at different hours of the day for that. That's okay. Maybe if we wanted to turn off, when people are sleeping, that might be an option there. Or if we were another business, right, and we're only open during certain hours, just like a restaurant, we might want to have that changed a little bit. As far as ad rotation, we're going to leave that optimized for best performing. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some different types of site link extensions, right? For those of you that are not familiar with that, it's kind of these little different features we see at the bottom of the ad, right? So here's the description of the ad, and then these are site links. These are actually going to help improve driving traffic to other places that might be relevant. So you can see that they're kind of listing some of the other different hotels, for example. So this is a really good example of how to use a site link. So for us, we're going to try to do the same thing. So let's say we want to add a site link. We want to do a new one, and we're going to do cheap deals. And we're going to say historically low prices, explore the beach this summer. And then the final URL, right? So if we go back to our website, booking MVP, we've got kind of a nice vacation packages on the homepage here. This would be a nice landing page to create. We might also want to use like another resort for like Tulum, Mexico. That's another good offer that we have, right? That's relevant. So let's do something like Tulum, Mexico resorts. And we have something that links to that. Final URL. Right, so you get the idea here. I would recommend doing as many of these as you can. So let's save those. And now you can see those have been added. Call out extensions, right? So you can see some ones that we've used here, right? So like incredibly low rates is really relevant right now for travelers. Qualifying for discounts, right? If we go back to our example that we saw on the internet, what else are they using? Up to 30% off, book for tonight, 24/7 support. That might be another great call out extension, right? Something like 24/7 support. Okay, and then call extensions, right? It would make sense to add our phone number. So this is the phone number for the website. And then if we want to add any other future things, right, we can actually do, if we had a mobile app or if we're trying to get messages, structured snippets. Those are actually really good ways in which you can offer some of the benefits. I set that up here, shows different products, right? So we could kind of show some of the different amenities right there. So if we were going back and we were looking at our specific property that we were trying to promote as a hotel, and we have Laredo. See if there's any specific amenities that it offers. Right, here's amenities. Right, so maybe like a private balcony. Some people like that, right? And we could do something like amenities, and these are all really good. Let's do private balcony, daily housekeeping. Blender's nice, right? Some smoothies. Let's save those options. We've got those added, right? And we could do any of these other ones too if we wanted to do location or leads and or other types of special promotions. But let's save that and continue. We're going to move on to ad groups now. So with ad groups, you want to kind of think about these as your different audiences in which you're kind of grouping the different types of keywords that you want to have for each of those audiences into a consistent theme. So we just want to make sure we have enough search patterns. And so this is kind of where we're going to get into some of the keyword stuff. I've already done some of the keyword research, but just to kind of quickly show you how you could do that, right? A good little option for that would be going to our keyword tool planner. So we're going to start with some variations of websites for other landing pages. So if we were looking for Laredo, Mexico resorts, we can see one right here, luxury hotel guides. Let's see what they return. Right, so we can see some different variations that they're using. I want to just use this page only instead of the whole website to be more targeted. So we can see, right, the Inn at Laredo, Laredo Bay. These are some different things that they're using. We could also type in our own landing page, for example. And we could type that in and see what else. Right. So we can see some other variations that might be relevant to use in our keyword research. So that's one approach, is starting with a website or looking at some of your competitors' landing pages to get some ideas for some different keywords. And then the next approach would be to move on to start with keywords. And we're going to start with all-inclusive Laredo, Mexico resorts. Let's see if what pops up. Right. So we can see these different variations, and you want to go through that and do that for every specific destination. So I've already done that research prior to this video, so we're just going to go ahead and add in some of these keywords. When we talk about doing like a bid, we're kind of just adjust it here, right? And we can see how that number will change as we add keywords. So let's just add all-inclusive resort, so you can see what that adjustment looks like. But that will adjust, right? So you can kind of see how many more clicks we're going to get when we're doing broad keywords. Recently, when I was talking with Google on some campaigns that I've been doing for another client, they've told me that the best approach for these types of campaigns is actually to do what we call broad modifier campaigns, where we're actually adding the plus symbol before each of these keywords in order to give it different types of variations or modifications, right? You can see how that kind of that drove down the clicks. What that's doing is it's going to make our keywords a little bit more relevant, so that we can reduce clicks that are not as high quality. And it's also, what it's going to do is it's going to allow for different variations. So if somebody types in resorts, but they have a variation of that, maybe like resorts on the beach or resorts on hotel, um, or cabanas or something like that, maybe it might actually trigger one of these keywords. So my recommendation is to do broad modifier keywords. There's a lot of different approaches that you can take with keywords, and the different approaches, I think that overall I would just go with what Google is kind of suggesting as you kind of optimize your account through time, and be in contact with your account. But for now, I see this working pretty well, and this is kind of what Google's been recommending me for types of sales and lead campaigns. So we're going to go with that. So then I really just want to kind of go in and see what other types of broad keywords I can use to modify. So let's just kind of include some of these. Mexico vacations. I know I've got a couple more over here that I had already typed. So let's just type those in. And best practice also recently from Google is they've told me that it's good to have 10 to 15 keywords, right? Then you're actually going to get enough of those keywords that are triggered in the search report, so that you can go back and look at that later to see what types of other keywords might be doing that. If you also notice, I'm doing a lot of what we call long tail keywords, where I'm actually using more than one keyword, right? I'm using more specific things, people that are probably further down the buying cycle. They know exactly what they want. You can see that I'm getting really kind of very specific types of clicks with these variations. I'm not getting, the hundreds of the thousands, right? And then you can see types of the low bid and the high bid, right? Of these are actually pulled from that Google keyword analysis, right? When you go in here and you're looking at the different landing pages, or if you're trying to do the different keywords. In that keyword planner, they actually break down if it's competition, what's the lowest page bid on the first page of Google, and also at the top of the page. Medium meaning, they're in the middle of the buyer journey cycle. There's advertisers here, but maybe they need influence consideration. Low means they might be generally just searching, right? Example here is like the Via del Palmar, right? That's maybe not as a well searched property as the Tulum. So I think just kind of, going through and doing this, it should take some time. We'll link to the other video for the keyword planner. Also, book is good, right? That's good buyer intent. So book Mexico vacation. We could even do correlations, right? If we're doing like hotels, they have to take a flight to get there, right? Most likely. 14. That's good. So let's save those. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create the ads, right? So we want to go back to our landing page, this guy. Make sure that that's our final destination. No pun intended. And then headline, we can use examples, right, for maybe some of the other competitors, right? So it looks like for this example, they've actually used the specific hotel, right, and Mexico all-inclusive deals. So we might do something like that. And we've also got Laredo specifically, so we want to make sure we're using one of those keywords that we plugged in from our keyword research report. So Laredo, Mexico resorts. Maybe we'll just put the branding or an incentive, right? So booking MVP. And then we want to just make sure that we give it a path, right, that's similar to the keyword that people are searching for. So Laredo, Mexico. And then they know that they're going to see something related to their search. We give it a description, right? So we'll kind of just use these as examples. So let's do something like all-inclusive Laredo, Mexico resort. And then let's maybe go to the landing page or some ideas. Here's some good stuff. Certificate of excellence. Yeah, let's maybe go in here. Okay. So that looks good. We don't need to add any of this other stuff for now. Let's just double check we got everything. And yeah, I think we're good. We'll save and continue. And then the next thing it's going to do is it's going to tell us to continue, right? So now we've got all those things set up, and we can see our ad group with our keywords, and we can see our ad. Now, best practice is always to have at least 3 ads, right? So we're just going to copy and edit those to duplicate, and then maybe change those up with another kind of description, maybe. So something like this, right? Award-winning and world-ranked spa. Okay. Save. And then we'll do maybe what we could also do is a responsive ad. So that what this will do right after you've created 2, another good practice is to kind of use some different headlines, right? That adds some variations so that Google will serve the best ones that kind of are getting the most engagement. So we can try some different headlines here and have those tested out. I'm going to just add another one right here. And then we will save ad. And there we go. So now we've got 3 ads, and that's the ending of our campaign. So we can also go back to the all campaigns and just make sure that we've got the campaign set, right? There's the ad group. And again, we can see the keywords and the different ads that we've created. We can actually set and edit those at any time. So that's the great thing about going through back all this. Best practice for me is always to try to pause things. If we're not ready to launch or anything, these ads can still go into approval. And with that, guys, that's everything. I hope that you've enjoyed the video. And let me know what tools and tactics you're using on Google to drive sales for your online business, or how global social media marketing can be there to help you with pivoting your business right now online. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you can, and I'll see you on the next training video. And my name is Benjamin Kepner. Take care. Bye.